Woo! We are back at the Badlands again. To get this kicking off right here, these were a bunch of people that I met up with at CPX over Memorial Day when they had that sale which makes paintballing at CPX tolerable, meaning that things are affordable and there's actually people there playing of all different types of whatever. So lots of rentals. The one game we had there was like 105 people. We were doing like arm bands versus no arm bands. Yeah, that was crazy. So anyway, we decided that we didn't want to blow all of our money in one place to shoot really shitty paintballs, and we came to Badlands. Wow, I'm talking a lot of crap about them.
Hey,
I really didn't have a good time, I guess. So we're all from pretty much around the field. It's just that deal, which is the only deal that I know that they do, was too good to pass up. So anyway, we all met up here. Me, Max, and a couple other guys. Yeah. So here we're playing in the forest. I killed one of the guys off to the left-hand side. I'm trying to run a wide flank around them. Except I get on the line and there's one guy who can see me and he's getting in my lane. Pay attention. I'm getting splattered quite a bit. He's hitting where I'm poking out of pretty darn good. Ended up being a really good kid. So he was moving up on my right hand side while I'm trying to take off this kid that's on my left. I guess dead in front of me right now. And we're getting into it. He's kind of long. The balls that I was shooting here. Oh yeah, I got killed. So never step in a man's lane. So reloaded, went up to go tag him, and then stood up right in his lane, which I knew was there. I was just too anxious to get him taken care of. But don't be a jackass.
Am I clean though?
Give him a pound it, talk him up, he did good. I didn't know that we traded paint until afterwards. He's just like, he had some on him and was just like, hey man, and I was like, hey man, nice shot, who shot you? And he was just like, oh, it was you. So woo.
Are they both on the other team?
So words to learn from, don't ever get in a man's lane.
Oh.
So over here we had one guy walking off. I didn't know why, but hopefully you could hear the clicking, the mad clicking that I was doing.
Hey, what team
Bunch of trigger pulls at
one or
first,
that
and then
one?
nothing would happen.
Okay.
So after like the 4th or 5th trigger pull, unless I was walking it pretty hard, then it would finally shoot. So I walk off with this guy.
I'll step off to make teams more even.
Tell the ref what's going on so he can keep track of us. Everything you're supposed to do.
Okay.
And walked off with him. He was a really nice guy. You'll see later. He made a couple mistakes, but he was a lot of fun.
Gotcha.
And that right there was one of the best refs that is at that field. They do a really great job. I really dig the fact that he actually pays attention to what's going on, and he can identify the difference between a sticker on your hopper, Max, and a paintball mark. So here we're playing Fort, one of the best maps that they have, absolutely. And my gun's still acting up. But the objective here, if you've played here before, they moved the flags to, or I guess the objective to the outside of the map, or to the outside of the fort. So it's right there behind the big wooden pylon. I was going to guard the front right by the flag, and they have to guard the sides. Now, before when we were playing this, we weren't allowed to leave the fort, but that's when the flags or the objective was inside the fort. This time it's outside, so you are allowed to go around. So we didn't know that until after we had started playing.
You do whatever you want. I'll guard the entrance right here just because that's going to be.
So yeah, we're making plans here. These two kids right here were hilarious. They were having a great time talking smack to each other and the other guys that they brought, and that was really cool. I tried to instill confidence in them because they were feeling really down that we were going to be defending this fort against the two other teams. They split us up in 3, so we rotate.
And then just make sure we're talking, telling them we're there.
You know, that gives, if you have them plan, it gives them a little bit of confidence, and if you stick them somewhere with like an objective in mind, then, you know, they're gonna, and they accomplish that objective, then they're going to feel pretty awesome, and they're going to play just like that.
You
so,
can go wherever you want. It has to stay in the fort, though.
Talking up plans here, trying to figure out exactly what we're doing and what's going on. You know, just to get a feel for everything. Told them where you gotta watch. You know, your vision's gotta overlap at certain points, but you gotta make sure that you're covering the side that you're on. So, the one thing that I tried practicing a lot of is finding things that you can throw some paint at that will act as a heavy suppressor.
Is there anyone over there?
So if you're playing offense against this fort, the best place to hit is the fence, so it makes a loud knocking noise. Or the corrugated tin that's up on the little 4-post lookout thing that's above. Because the sound of a ball hitting something really hard, like a tree, you know, all you hear is the splatter. But if it hits something that's long and carries the sound through it, then it's obnoxious, it's disorienting. And if you aren't focusing, then you don't know where it's coming from. All you know that there's a loud noise and it's right near you, and that makes you suppressed. So it's a great way to control aggro and to get people to become suppressed and take defense back where they're coming from. So over here trying to figure out where everyone is. The guy on my right hand side, which was, I told him just to guard the right hand side, wasn't really paying attention. So he goes through, doesn't guard his side. I'm trying to cover both because I don't hear anyone on my left doing anything, which allows them to press up on us quite a bit. So, yeah, the only thing I really like about Badlandz way over CPX is the refs. I mean, if you were there on Memorial Day, you know the refs were just hanging out and screwing around. We did way more sitting around than actually playing, and I mean it was like exponential. The refs that were there didn't really care what was going on. They were more worried about palling around with their best buddies at the air station and actually getting a group organized. Even on Badlandz, I mean, I can't tell you how many times the map was empty and they weren't showing anyone up into it. So
yeah, the guy who was
I don't know, an explanation on that would be great on why they weren't doing anything. So we got tagged out. These two kids were playing, or were, you know, talking stuff on what they did and what everyone else was doing, and they were having a great time, which was nice to see.
Damn, dude, we had one guy guarding that side, and I'm just
so,
say anything
the balls that
to
we
let
were
me know
using,
someone's
I
over
think
there.
he was using some old graffiti.
that tower right here?
Yeah.
I'm a pretty skinny guy, and it got like where my love handle would be, right above my buttocks, and it bounced.
Yeah.
If you haven't paintball before,
Yeah,
you
you
know
got me
that
good.
most
That
of the
hurt.
time, when you're up close and personal, it bounces.
Smile good though.
It's got a lot of, well, it's got a lot of kinetic energy behind it, and it hurts quite a bit more than something that's actually going to explode. So that hurt. Rather than the ones that explode, he got me twice in the back and once in like the love handle. So love handle, center of the back, and then top left shoulder blade. He was walking it up.
Hey Max.
Which
I'll
started
drop
at
fire
like,
right.
he hit the fence above me first. But whatever. So we were talking here, trying to figure out what we were going to do. Max did a great job running through the forest. And usually if you pick a line, like you'll see in the next two clips that I do, you choose a line. If it goes well, you stick with it. If not, then you change it up. So Max stuck with the forest, and I stuck with running through the tall grass. That's another thing that I like. When you're playing woods ball, you're supposed to be playing in stuff that isn't really touched by men or that's overgrown, and I don't know one person that doesn't like playing in an overgrown map. I love that they left the grass long, and you'll see later in here, had to crawl like 100 and something feet in order to get to the next bunker because I was being suppressed pretty well. Well, I got suppressed while I was playing offense, so I dove in the grass. But here we're working on keeping them inside the bunker while our guys are moving up. So the less they're peeking their head out and getting good recon on what we're doing, the better it is for us, because if their heads are inside and they can't see us moving, then we can move and we can get closer. So making them make the mistakes was the best part.
I'll go. Yeah, I'm going to the far one.
Okay, this one or that one?
the furthest one.
Okay.
So I was organizing them real quick, telling them where they need to look and what they need to do, and especially what I'm going to do. That's the most important, because if they can expect you to do something, then they can back you up while you're attacking that objective.
Good job, guys!
So
Excellent.
got up here, congratulate them, because they did an amazing job. While I was running, some guy stuck his head out. They instantly started to suppress him because they were talking to each other. So the one that was guarding the hill started suppressing him, said something, and then got the other guy to suppress him too, which was perfect in that scenario. If there had been another guy where I told the second kid to look, then I would have been screwed, but regardless, they made a great call in doing that.
In the tower, be careful! Left tower, left tower!
So communicating, telling them where they're at. They were doing a great job with suppressing, like I said before. To keep the dude in the tower down, keeping him pinned, it's just important to make noise around him. If you're shooting a 98 custom at him, then you're gonna want to aim little, miss little, but you can't. Your grouping is gonna be so crazy because on a beautiful day like this, it was kind of wide because of the wind. So it sounded like we eliminated everyone. I didn't know. So we come for our second game. We take the same lanes. This time we're going against Max. Max was on our last one, so now he's playing defense in the fort. And we've got 7 minutes to attack it. I cut quite a bit of video out of this because it was a lot of sitting because they were running out of the fort and then they run back in, run out of the fort and run back in. It was a wonderful defensive way of doing it just because we didn't really know what to expect. When we saw them run out, we were just like, okay, well, we need to go help our friends out and move to the other side of the field. And they'd run back into the fort and we'd be like, oh, okay, well, that's not going to work. Let's go attack now. We're on the offense. So organize the two kids again, let them know where to look. Tell them where I'm going to be. Fire some suppressive shots off, especially if you're shooting rope. Then you can, it's intimidating. Having one ball hit next to you, that could have been a wild ball from anywhere. And since it's one ball, you don't have a beat on where to keep it or where to track it from. But if you're shooting ropes, it's a lot of balls. And the only downside is you can usually be tracked from those. Like if you hear one hitting, then you can usually see a rope if it's pointed in your direction. We're using orange balls. So naturally, when they fly through there, they're like lasers. So it's, hey, if you see a rope, you see, hey, this is what I'm shooting at. Hey, this is where I'm shooting from. So I don't know why orange shell is field paint. It should be camo color. Because in speedball, you want to be able to see where your ropes are going, and I don't really think that it matters because the inflatables are usually brightly colored anyway, so either they'll blend in or stick out super whole bunch. So here I am crawling through. I was kind of worried when I ran. I got suppressed. I didn't think that the kid would poke his head out after I laid down a line on him, because he would figure that would be my lane where I'm shooting at. So anyway, I dove in the grass. Marines say keep your dick in the dirt, so that's what I did. You gotta make sure that when you're crawling to make a giant letter Z with a bunch of squiggles, like how Billy Madison spells risotto, that kind of thing. That way, if you're crawling directly towards them, they peek, they will see your snail trail behind you. However, if you're making those paths, then the only way you'll be able to see those paths in the grass is if you're lined up with one of the lanes. So I didn't know if my teammates remembered or saw that I was okay and I didn't walk out. However, they're the kids that I was talking to before, so hopefully they know that I wear the Argyle headband and I'm wearing grayscale camo and stuff like that. So crawling, they do a pretty great job of suppressing. So pop out of the grass, jump around the corner, get them.
Close quarters, guys. You all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just make sure that you apologize for it.
Hey, we're good. Move on.
It's kind of a, I don't know. make sure you say something, because there's nothing worse than getting kicked in the eagle like that. I mean, not only did you get shot pretty darn close, and I think I tagged the first guy twice, the second guy once. Usually you want to do 1 and 1 or 2 and 2, just to make it even, and very obvious. So yeah, but apologize, because nothing. I mean, getting shot that close, yes, and it hurts, yes, and you're out, yes, and you didn't have the chance to react. Yeah, that all sucks and adds up. So, be a good sport. They were really good sports about it. I thought they'd have, more of a, hey, why didn't you surrender me kind of thing. But, I tried to stay out of 10 feet, which was good. So, over here, snuck around. The players walking out were making a lot of noise. So, I stuck my barrel here, which you don't do. You cruise around the corner, barrel tucked in. Shot right next to the guy. Make sure that, and the game got called. So, make sure that you're assertive, but you're controlled and confident, because if I wasn't if I wasn't all of those things at the same time, then you saw there. I mean, he swung around because he
I don't want to shoot you in the butt or anything.
heard the shot, and then started to
I'm surprised you didn't
point
see me. I
his
crawled all the way
gun
from
at
that
me,
bunker way back there to
nice
the-
and steady. So swung around, gun pointed my general direction, and then gun traced on me. So make sure he knows that you're large and you're in charge, and he's definitely out, because without a question in your mind, he's out. So what I always do is, if I'm surrounding someone, point your barrel in their face, and then put your hand up as far as you can go to let them know what's up. So as we're playing
Good. We got him in the defense.
reball here.
Hey, they're all the way back.
The first game I didn't put in here because halfway through a deer ran through the
I
field.
got aggro.
That was like, I don't know, 500 feet from us. So we stopped the game. They made sure there wasn't any fawns around or anything like that they were trying to protect. And the deer walked off. Which is weird because they had the speedball games going around there. I think Aftershock was doing their practice runs. But they make a lot of noise, and I don't know why the deers would have found that attractive. But we're in the forest. It's their territory. We're just here playing paintball, and yeah, so I don't blame them. So over here, we got a bunch of my team killed a bunch of their team, and it was 1v2. I was the one, and I tried to suppress, move while they weren't looking, and then get underneath and work on dividing and conquering. So the last place they saw me was the center of the field, and I'm creeping around to the right hand side. So they still think I'm center, which is a good way to divide and conquer, because they're not going to team up, they're going to want to flank. So knowing that, Max is looking at me right now, which is what I'm pointing at, and I can't tell if he's in or out because he's standing in the field. He sees a sticker that says BBT on it, and he thinks that I got shot. So go over here, knock him out, get shot in the feed neck, or the bottom of the hopper, by the guy that was running through the center in black. I could have did a better job at staying in cover and then dividing and conquering, but whatever, it happened.
Oh no.
So had a lot of fun doing that.
Right
Tried to use the apex to creep over the top
I
of
got some right here, though, it's splattered.
the zipper, or I'm sorry, snake that was over there. It was a little hard because Max knew that's what I would do, so he hugged as close to the corrugated
Does it taste good?
cylinders as possible. So I couldn't, give him the good old reach around. So, but yeah, had a lot of fun. These roughs were pretty cool. And then this new map that they had set up was wicked fun. Nice and open. The cars that they have on there are set up almost perfect. I think they probably need one more defense spot by this red truck, and that is it. Everything else is golden on it. I think it's almost perfectly balanced. So we were over here. I tried to suppress. They walked under it because I thought the drop would be a little bit greater, but that's another thing you got to pay attention to, is know your snapshots. So we're working our way around these cars, which was a really nice different obstacle, because the ones at CPX are all grown in, so they don't have much shape to them anymore. mashed into fields or dug in the ground or stuff like that. So I'm bumping. The guy behind me moves while I'm shooting. I move while he's shooting. We're working our way up. And then for some reason he forgets that I'm on his team. So go up here around the car. You can't see this because I got that big old hoppa in the way. But the kid freaks out, drops his gun. He was like trying to turn and run the opposite way of me, and then dropped his gun. I was trying to pick off his gun because it's an extension of your body. And get shot by my own team. Now, I wouldn't have been so like blown up about this if he didn't light me up. I mean, he shot a good rope at me and hit me with the first 3. So overshooting on people is not good, but overshooting on your team is something else. And all the dude had to say was sorry, or my bad, or something like that. Even in Spanish, I would have been like,
for real.
Don't worry about
Pay
it.
attention. I'm on your team. Well, pay attention.
But he kept on making excuses and crap.
All you need to do is pick your head up and you can see who's on your team.
So a simple get your head out of your ass type of thing helps. So, I don't know. The other kid shot
Well, depends on what
the
you guys
opponent player
want
in
to
the
do. If you
ball,
guys
so
wanna
I didn't
take
feel
wide
bad,
right or
but he
wide
was
left,
like,
we need
sorry
to know
man,
so we
so
can-
that was funny.
Sounds good.
But-
We'll take wide left.
I don't know, I was the only white kid
Let
on
us
his
know if we're gonna
team.
cross through the
We had
center,
talked
and we'll
before,
yell to
I'm
you
the
guys.
only one making plans. Like, the stuff I'm wearing is very, very obvious that I'm different from everyone else. And my gun wasn't pointed anywhere close to him, and my back is very, well, it's not aggressive. My back is to him because I figured that he would be providing, cover and stuff like that, but whatever. So anyway, we got 2 people walking on. We get another white kid on our team. So they might get confused this time. He does a really great job of pushing up left, but that one
Looks like we've got 4 guys
black-haired
coming to
kid,
the left.
I think he was Hispanic that I had, that we had traded paint in the first clip. He was rolling with me. So he goes wide left. Before the jump, we
got one
had
center,
talked,
one center.
and we told the other guys that we were going left while they were going
We
around
got 4 at their spawn.
the cargo truck. Ooh, that would be a fun game type, cargo, where it's like reverse
Hey, that's
capture
4
the
on
flag.
the
You
red
got a
truck.
VIP
Nobody's
and you
over
got to put him
there.
in the back of the cargo van and keep him there for however long. I don't know how that would work, but make it a thing. So we're playing. The guys on the right-hand side aren't talking with us. We were calling everything out to them. It seemed like they got the one guy that went over there. We suppressed these guys really good. I got the once the jump happened, I tagged their spawning vehicle really fast
One on the caravan
and
right
with
there.
high volume, so they didn't move. We had one guy move to. It was like a green Volvo. I don't even think Volvo made like British racing green vehicle like this, but it was like one of those station wagons. So I was trying to suppress for this kid. He ran up to us. I tried to pull him in, but I wasn't fast enough for him. I apologize. But he got tagged on the feed neck right there. And that sucks because it's not something that you pay attention to, but it's very obvious for the other person. I mean, getting shot in the gun, especially on a part like that where you've got a lot of mass above and below it, where it doesn't move much, where like if you get shot in the barrel, it's very vibrant and easy to see, or if you were to get shot, what's it called? Like down low, you'd get paint on your hands, or up to high, it's up by your eyes, so you'd see that. So I try and get the kid wearing red's attention over on the right-hand side, but apparently he didn't understand. So I see that there's a line of paint coming from the right-hand side up where I assume our players are to the left-hand side where their spawn is. So I take that as initiation to move up. We've got one guy that's bumped back left. He was playing pretty good flank on that kid. And I tell them that I'm going to move up and kind of, have fun with this.
I'm gonna move up to the minivan, okay?
I can shoot around that, or just kind of,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's like pot shooting back and forth is really stupid. So I explained to them what is going to happen and what they need to do. And he wasn't really listening, so I took that as an opportunity to go ahead and slide in. I don't know if I adjusted ramps there or whatever to try and hook it around the side of the vehicle, but I unloaded on it. What's nice about the ramp on the Apex 2 is it's really consistent. So I don't know, like you, it's just, I feel like shooting 12 gram BBs and something with adjustable hop up on like an airsoft gun, it's very inconsistent. It's just because they're lighter, I understand that. But with these, I mean, they're heavy, you've got a lot of air moving behind them. The Apex 2 was designed brilliantly, and you know, it just gets really nice hook behind it. So it made it really consistent. Over here, the field paint was kind of blah. I should have listened to Kim and got 1 star or 2 star, but I don't know, I decided not to. It was just, I don't know, after a while it would just kind of hook. I couldn't get it to sit and shoot nice and flat, even with the amount of backspin that I was putting on it with the Apex. So I don't know, I think the seams might have been too big, or it probably was the grease on the outside that they used to stamp their name on the side of the ball. That makes sense, because when you touch it, like even if your hands aren't sweaty or anything, it like rubs off. And I did a smash test on them, and they're good paint. Like the seams are nice and smooth, other than like CPX's, but I don't know. It seemed to have like a better overall shell. I wanted some thicker stuff because we were shooting through the leaves. That's why I chose field. So really bad video. Ran up. What happened was, I ran up. He was sitting or kneeling, kind of like he is there, but in reverse. So his left knee was down and his right knee was up. Tagged him in that shin. He instantly switched to try and cover it up, which, you know, play on. I mean, that's good. I don't go for it. And then got him in the bottom of the mask and the shoulder.
No, I don't think so.
So
I think he might have.
I got off clean, so that was pretty cool. I danced around all those. I took a somersault, but had an awesome time. It was a lot of fun. I do have to say though, I went back and did a test on the balls that I got at Blast Camp, and the the packages that they put in with the balls, like the silicone, like keeps it nice and, I don't know, it keeps them nice and round, and I wish that everyone did that, because I mean those balls just, they did amazing things that day we were playing over there. So yeah, so rules, or I guess tips to take home: get balls from Blast Camp because they're amazing. The refs were good, balls were good. CPX sucked. The refs there were way more concerned about hanging out with their other buddy refs than doing the game that we were doing. I mean, I can't stand when they do that. Like, they weren't paying attention to us. Like, Bedlam was supposed to be open 24/7 and they weren't. So I don't know, their loss. Many people would have ran through cases of paint way faster if they got to play, instead of waiting and waiting. Like, we literally waited an hour in between bigger game matches because I don't know, they had people coming up to them, but they didn't do anything. So, all right, I'm getting off my pedestal. Yeah,